In the early 1980s, a shadowy operation unfolded that would define the paranoia and brinkmanship of the Cold War era. Operation Ryan, a covert initiative of the KGB, was born out of the Soviet Union's fear of an imminent nuclear first strike by the United States. This fear, deeply ingrained in the Kremlin's leadership, drove the Soviets to undertake one of the most extensive intelligence-gathering campaigns of the Cold War. The seeds of Operation Ryan were sown in 1981, when Soviet leader Yuri Andropov, then the head of the KGB, became convinced that the Reagan administration was planning a surprise nuclear attack on the Soviet Union. Andropov's worldview was shaped by the memory of World War II and the devastation wrought by Germany's surprise invasion of the USSR. He saw nuclear war not as an abstract threat but as a tangible and inevitable possibility. Operation Ryan, short for Raketno-Ядерное Нападение, rocket nuclear attack, was launched with a singular purpose: to detect the early signs of a U.S. nuclear strike. KGB agents and their counterparts in the GRU, the Soviet Military Intelligence Agency, were tasked with monitoring every aspect of American and NATO activities. They were to look for indicators ranging from unusual military movements to changes in the schedules of Western leaders. The operation's scope was vast. Soviet agents around the world were mobilized to collect intelligence. In Washington, operatives scrutinized the comings and goings of key U.S. officials, watched for unexplained lights in government buildings late at night, and tracked the movements of Air Force One. In Western Europe, spies infiltrated NATO facilities, listening for whispers of war preparations. Even seemingly mundane details, like an increase in the purchase of blood supplies or the activity of funeral homes, were meticulously reported back to Moscow. But Operation Ryan wasn't just about gathering information, it was also about interpreting it. Soviet leaders were gripped by a siege mentality, and this paranoia often led to misinterpretation of routine events as signs of impending war. NATO military exercises, such as the 1983 exercise Able Archer, were viewed as potential cover for a real nuclear attack. The Soviets even feared that President Reagan's aggressive rhetoric, such as labeling the USSR the evil empire, was a prelude to action. As the operation progressed, the tension escalated to dangerous levels. In 1983, during the Able Archer exercise, the Soviet Union came alarmingly close to launching a preemptive strike. Believing that the West might use the exercise as a smokescreen, Soviet forces went on high alert. Nuclear-capable bombers were readied, and ballistic missile submarines moved into launch positions. The world unknowingly stood on the brink of annihilation. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed. NATO's exercise ended without incident, and the Soviets did not act on their suspicions. But the near miss highlighted the perils of Operation Ryan. The very initiative meant to protect the Soviet Union from a nuclear attack had brought it dangerously close to sparking one. Operation Ryan continued into the mid-1980s, but its intensity waned as Mikhail Gorbachev rose to power and tensions between East and West began to thaw. The operation's legacy, however, remains a chilling reminder of the Cold War's most terrifying reality: the possibility that miscommunication, paranoia, or a simple mistake could have led to catastrophic consequences. Today, the story of Operation Ryan serves as a stark warning about the dangers of fear-driven intelligence efforts. It reveals how the shadows of espionage and paranoia can cast a long and potentially deadly shadow over global peace, leaving the world perpetually balanced on a knife's edge.